there's two Arizonas. The good one and then the bad one. This is the bad one. Come on, Arizona, get it together.
Completely different door.
For the love of Pete. We gave him our VIN number. That's the thing.
There is nothing wrong with your video stream. We are controlling your feed. Sit quietly and experience the awe and mystery from the outer limits of the open road.
Good morning. We are here. We arrived last night at the Escapees Park in Casa Grande, Arizona. And we boondocked overnight. They just have a place where you can pull in. Can't see much out there. Where you can pull in for the overnight. And then we will check in with them this morning after we have our coffee and get a spot probably for the next month. This is one of our favorite parks, and we'll hopefully do some video editing and stuff. So I'm actually still editing video from, well, October, and this is January. So we've been, I don't want to say we've been lazy, but we've been working on other creative projects. I published a coloring book. Bill's been working on a novel and some short films. And so we've been having a good time. I designed a bunch of ornaments for the holidays and just really relaxing. But one of the reasons that we've been kind of sitting still is we're actually, that's the water pump. Yes, the water pump is very loud because we're boondocking. Sometimes we have to sit still and actually save some money. We had some big expenses come up this year, and so we're actually just sitting still to save money. It is very affordable to stay in a campground or an RV, or particularly an Escapees Park, for a month, and we save a ton of money, about half. It's about half the cost of staying for a day or a week. So we're just gonna kind of relax here for a month, see what kind of trouble we can get into, and hunker down a little bit because the virus is surging. And this morning we're just having some coffee. I already forgot first thing that I didn't have electric, so propane stove came out, and now I'm waiting for this to cool down. That's the big downside to using the propane stove, is we can't go anywhere until everything cools down and I can close it up. But we're gonna have our coffee and go find a spot to camp. I love that we're parked next to a lemon tree here. This hardly ever happens in Michigan. I mean, hardly. Full of lemons. It's cold, but we are in the desert, so that's what matters. Gotta go get a spot today. Hopefully they've got a spot. If we slept in and missed getting a spot, that's gonna really suck. But we'll have nobody to blame but ourselves. Plenty of blame to go around, and it's all us. So as it turns out, we couldn't get a spot today because the office is now closed on Sundays, even though when I talked to her on the phone, she said come in the next day. I guess she probably didn't realize the next day was Sunday. So we are going to boondock again tonight, and you know, that's totally fine. The primary reason for us to boondock less, well, the only reason, frankly, is propane. So when it's cold at night here in the desert, last night it got down to the upper 20s. We go through a lot of propane, I guess, because we like it relatively warm in the camper. And so we can use 25 or 30% of a propane tank in one night. It is a little confusing to me. We go on the forums and people ask, you know, how long does a propane tank last? It's a 20-pound propane tank, standard. And people are like, oh, months. We can go for a month, weeks. Well, we were at 94% when we rolled out of town yesterday, and we're at 62% this morning. It'll vary based on the temperature. So when it's colder or warmer out, you know, that will expand or decrease the percentage available in the tank. So, you know, that might go up a little bit, but it's not unusual for us to use 20-25% just one cold overnight. So in terms of the electric, the solar works fantastically. We don't ever run out of juice. Typically, it just charges back up in the morning. So I'm not worried about that, but propane for heating, it's a little problematic for boondocking because we don't want to run into town every, 3 or 4 days to get gas. And that's what was happening last year when we were boondocking out in the desert. So when it warms up a little bit, that's obviously not a problem. But when it's in the 20s at night, we're using a bit of propane. Yeah. So they may or may not even have a spot here. It looks like we did talk to the manager and they may not even have any spots. They might have one. We'll find out tomorrow. And if not, then I'll have to start thinking about where we would want to go from here. We could go into the desert. There's just tons of boondocking around here. But again, then we'll be using a lot of propane, and but then it'll be free camping. So. The fire? You like fire?
I like the smell of fire. In fact, I'm going to light myself on fire right now.
It's really not helpful.
Oh.
We're on our way to check out the clubhouse here, check out the library, and the ice cream situation.
It's more of a priority of ice cream than clubhouse.
Yeah, well, whatever they have, we're going to check into it. We're in Casa Grande at the Escapees Rover's Roost because they love dogs. Hey, here's a little path. We could take that one. I think it's a path, isn't it? Yeah. One of the things that we love about this park are the sunsets. So we'll see if we get a good sunset tonight. If it's warm enough to be out. A lot of whatever they are, chips, ribbon chips. And some gorditas from the street fair.
Oh my God, these are good.
Yeah.
But it sounds so urgent.
Do you possibly have a car that could be under warranty?
No, not at all. I don't even know how they come up with this stuff.
Marissa, how dare you? I'm making off with some free grapefruits and lemons that were grown in the co-op. Super delicious. They smell amazing. Just picking up our screen door, and we're here at Tom's Camperland in Mesa. And gosh, there's just a whole crowd of adorable tags. So, and other small trailers. Let's take a look. We've got Some nice boondock additions. I'm loving the new graphics. These are some interesting graphics packages I haven't seen before. I haven't quite put them together yet. The propane tank holder and stuff is still in there. Another one, silver with white pine trees. So cute. I like the dark wood, very nice. And just basically a very sharp looking unit. Look at this little guy. These are fun graphics too. I really love those. Boondocks must be very popular because that's what most of these are, and that's in fact what we had when we had a tag. Now look at this, I've never seen this before. It's called a rover, I think. But that's a schmexy kitchen. Not gonna lie. I mean, that might be a little over the top. But look at this, an apron, a stainless steel apron sink. That is a schmexy camper. No graphics on it whatsoever. Very interesting. And what's kind of cool about this one, this rover, is that it's got the bedding here, and so effectively you set it up and take it down, and it's got lots of space inside. I kind of like that about it. And then you've got a Nobo. This is the Nobo here. Not so much on the windows, but it's got a big cargo door. So I guess that's a different, very flexible sort of arrangement. A pretty inexpensive unit, a nice awning there. And then this one's a Flyer. These are brands that I've heard of the Nobo, but the Flyer I'm completely unfamiliar with. Pursue, the Flyer Pursue, and also pretty attractive. Okay, it's another one with just basically a big cargo entry and a lot of flexibility in terms of how you want to arrange things. Oh my gosh. Well, it's like a little, I thought it was a bed, but it's a little shelving area, storage area. So yeah, and then they have even more campers around here. They've got truck campers and all sorts of things. It's an impressive array. Inside, they have a ton more. We had really great service from Tom's Camperland. They were so kind as to get us a new door, screen door for the Cirrus, and we tried all sorts of places and couldn't get anybody to get one for us, so they were super helpful. Kenny was great. So I would recommend them if you need any service or help and you're in the Phoenix area. Or outside the Phoenix area. We actually drove here from Casa Grande, which is southwest of Tucson. Another little tag. And nope, it's the little guy Max, an R-Pod. And here we've got a Scout. This is pretty interesting. Truck camper. I just have to take a peek at this. Huh. Got a toilet, a Dometic fridge, chest fridge. I'm not sure what, I guess those are probably just cargo holders. Those are pretty cool looking, very versatile. Got your bed. Unfortunately, it's the side-to-side facing, which is not really ideal for me. Got a Dometic propane stove, little water tank, and maybe that's where your stove goes when you're traveling, I'm not really sure. And a removable table. Huh. Kind of a cool, lightweight, I presume lightweight camper. And here we've got some baby Cirruses. some little baby cirruses. So cute. Hello. Oh, the smell of that fresh Amish carpentry. I don't want to tell you that I'm obsessed with cirruses, but this is by far our camper of choice. And I love the color schemes, the gray color schemes. We've got an older one, so we've got the dark brown interior, so, but we're making it work. But I do love the gray, very pretty. Yeah, nice. AC up there. Just everything you need to be comfortable in a small space on a, like an F-150. May or may not get out of here today because it's a pretty intense traffic situation and the parking lot is outrageous. But we got nothing going on. Just grab some lunch, we'll be fine. And hopefully when we get home that door is the correct size and fits. Jalapeno Bucks. It's got over 2,000 reviews and it sounds delicious, and it's pretty close nearby, and also they've got a walk-up window, which is going to be helpful since it's still a pandemic. Got a brisket burrito, delicious rice and beans, homemade chips, and fantastic coleslaw. This is really exceptional food.
So on the top of the salsa, there's an M marked, and you'd think it means medium, but really it means medical attention required.
Yes, that's
because it's very hot.
It's completely different.
Completely different door.
For the love of Pete. We gave him our VIN number. That's the thing. Alright. We're off to a bad start. So when we called to order this door, we gave them the VIN number for the truck. So it was supposed to, it should have been an exact match, but I see what Bill is saying. This does not appear to be the same, but well, we'll see if we can make it work. It'll be interesting.
The only way that it's the same,
yeah,
it's the same color.
Well, there you go then. So we're going to have to fix this.
Fix what?
We're going to have to fix this gap here because it doesn't fit correctly because it's out. Our former door was actually right up to the edge here, so this one does not fit. However, what I like about it is it's got the magnet, and the other one didn't have a really good seal here, and we were constantly trying to snap it in place. And this one, oh yeah, that baby is sealed. We also have to deal with the gap here, so we're gonna have to put a spacer of some sort in there on the stair there, and then deal with this switch.
Got a piece of 2x4, cut it down to the correct dimensions here for what we needed, and then put in some clearance holes so I can put some screws in. And it's going to set right there. Oh my
gosh, look at that.
That's perfection. So
awesome.
All I need to do is put a screw in here and a screw in here. The way it's designed, it won't anchor into the wood. It'll just be clearance, and then it'll just go in here, and then compression will hold it in place.
Perfect.
I've got a little bit of a white shim here to take up a little bit of the gap, but then I've got that right there that's 3/4 of an inch thick. So tell me what you think.
You put a white shim in there. That's very cool.
That's to take up the gap that I can't do anything about.
Yeah. So this front door jamb has a little bit of a ledge here that does not match the new one, but that looks like the best we can do. We just have to make sure to pick up our feet when we get over the jamb here.
Well, yeah, that's just to take, there's an 1/8 inch gap there. So
yeah.
I got this piece of thin stock in here to hold it in place, and then that's wedged in nice and tight thanks to this table saw. And all I got to do is put 2 screws in there to hold the base, and then up the side, and we're done.
We could get out of town, see the beautiful world around, wanna see it now. Pack our bags and get in that car, leave a little note and we'll drive real far.